Today in the crypto space, we see the market looking nice and green, Bitcoin up approximately 5% above that $50,000 mark, and Ethereum doing really well as well, 2,700 up 5.5%. Also, the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, doing pretty good here. We have a lot of good gainers, AVAX, Doge, DOT, ADA, and that's just to name a few. And the rest of the crypto space is doing very, very good as well, and we could expect a continuation to the upside. However, guys, today's video, we're going to be covering the general market. We're going to be using Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, we're going to talk about one project that has been doing pretty good, and of course, off a nice bounce to the upside, we need to get defensive, and that project is called Blockchain Bets. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. The Bitcoin price is definitely doing pretty good, taking the rest of the crypto space with it. It's up 5%, give or take, up 18.5% in the last 7 days. Ethereum is trailing right behind, obviously up at another 5.5%. For the last 7 days, it's only up 14, but at least it's maintaining its trajectory to the upside, pretty much trailing right behind Bitcoin. So I don't see Ethereum generally lagging too much here. It's definitely keeping up, and we can see that the overall market cap for the crypto space is very, very healthy at the moment. It's up 4.7% above the $2 trillion market cap zone, which is really, really good. And of course, we see the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, doing very good as well. We have Cardano moving up 6.5%, AVAX 5%, and the list goes on, guys. You can see it here yourself. The thing is, should we be expecting a bit of correction? Now, there's a lot of individuals that are expecting a correction. I am one of them, guys. It's not even that I'm expecting. I am prepared for one. Just in case it does happen, guys, I don't want to be left with my mouth open, waiting for, something to happen. I want to be prepared for that scenario. I want to be emotionally, economically prepared if we do come down to those levels to buy dips across the board. I'm looking at these altcoins, guys, and there's some entries that I would like to get into. However, I'm not going to be buying into these pumps. So all we have left to do at the current moment is to get defensive. On our gains. Offensive moments have passed. We got some good entries on some good projects in the last little while, but it's time to get defensive in the sense that we have to come up with a plan on how we're going to protect our gains and our initial investment for sure. So let's continue going down here. We do have some good gainers. Definitely it's a bit of whipsaw price action throughout the market, a bit here and there, but look at IMX up 5.8%. Cosmos, Atom not doing much, guys. Cosmos hasn't been really doing good. The Cosmos ecosystem is a beast. It's really, really good. But as far as its layer 0 or its Atom token, not really doing its thing, unfortunately here, guys. BitTensor doing okay. It's on a double top as we speak. It's up 6.7% for the day, doing really well in the last week, 33% to the upside. Positions have been really, really good here. Nice green bags, of course, but for me, I'm not looking for fresh longs on BitTensor Tau. I'd rather get into something else that hasn't really run up yet. Optimism doing good off of the Ethereum narrative, and of course, Stacks also based on the Bitcoin narrative is up 12.6%. Beast doing pretty good, 55% to the upside in the last 7 days, guys. That is some great gains. So this is why I'm saying across the board, If you look at the 7-day, if you look at the weekly gains that we've been having here, double digits are everywhere. There's good opportunities, and there's definitely opportunities to at least get defensive on some of the gains. Trail up stop losses at good horizontal levels of support. If it falls below the support, be prepared to take a bit of profit. Guys, now is the time to consider being profitable, and the only way you're going to be profitable is actually taking realized profits, okay? This is something that we really have to understand, and I'm only talking about the short term. I'm not talking about long term. I'm not talking about, bull run highs. I'm talking about short-term moves, right? Maybe we get a dip in the next couple of weeks. We can reaccumulate at lower levels. The graph, I like the entry on the graph. The graph is looking really good. It's still at the bottom of the range. We have Beam doing its thing, still up 67% in the last 7 days, guys. That is great. What a top gainer. Quant still right around that $100 level, guys. In my opinion, Quant has underperformed significantly. I am not interested. Not because of fundamentals, because of price action. And if you're a trader, you want volatility, right? So that's exactly what we're looking for. What else do we have here? Let's keep on scrolling. We got 17 on DYM, doing pretty good. Looking for that breakout. Definitely broke out, make that higher high. That's really bullish. Blur as well, doing pretty good, 6% to the upside. And the list goes on, guys. We can keep on going. You can see that there are some good gainers. BitGet token back on its way to the upside, looking pretty good. All of a sudden, it's a base. Look at its market cap, guys. Massive market cap. Really, really good. $1 billion market cap is massive. Nice stuff here. Definitely looking great. And as we keep on going, guys, we're seeing a lot of good altcoins definitely run. So again, I think the overall consensus here in the market is that we should be getting defensive. A lot of projects are deep in the green. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to protect those gains, or are we going to let the market take them away? Guys, let's talk about charts. I know you're here to talk about charts. So let's begin looking at Bitcoin. At the end of the day, Bitcoin, that's Blockchain Bets. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Bitcoin right now is hitting this zone. Hitting a really good extension level zone at about 42K. Even as high as about 52K, maybe even as high as about 54K. That's very possible. This little red sideways bar that I got going on here, this box, generally represents a zone where we could definitely get in and get comfortable at this zone. Getting comfortable means what we could go sideways, maybe get a bit of a rejection, maybe see a market reaction at this zone and potentially come down. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Guys, Bitcoin's looking really good, really, really bullish in the short term, right? If you look at this consolidation, it's really, really good. And if you zoom out and you start looking at this overall price action that, basically went through, it's super hot, really good, obviously up over 200% from its bottom. The thing is that when you get into the zone where the market is very, very greedy, and you're seeing Bitcoin looking very, top heavy at this zone, you can see it looks very top heavy. The likelihood of a potential retracement or sideways price action does, increase. And I'm not willing to take risk. At the end of the day, if you get into let me get rid of the Fibonacci that's in the background, so that we can make sense of just this little consolidation. Let me get rid of this for a sec. And we go from a swing high to swing low. That wasn't that accurate. So let's bring it down a little bit more because that was a bit sloppy. You can see that we're hitting the 1.27. The 1.618 is right up here. This the 1.27, guys. It could be a very confluent place to see a reaction. So I'm prepared. Ultimately, it could come up a little bit higher. Right in this area, guys, it's fine. I've been saying this all the way from down here, that I'm not interested in getting into a fresh long on Bitcoin. If I would have, at the end of the day, we do see whipsaw. Straight up, straight down price action. Both bears and bulls got wrecked into this scenario. Then all of a sudden we get a bit of support and we start going up higher. The thing is that the risk is there, guys. If you look below, there's potential retracement down to this diagonal, which is at about 33, maybe about 36, maybe even as low as about 31 and change. It's very possible. And if we start breaking lower ranges, maybe about 25 at the worst case. So for me, I'm not really getting into a bullish stance here on Bitcoin. If anything, it's defensive. It's understanding that there's a lot of individuals and some good profits, and maybe taking a bit of profit off the top. That's very possible. That very, very responsible at the end of the day, taking about 10% off the top after such a great pump to the upside. But of course, we're looking into altcoins. I'm looking into altcoins. I'm using Bitcoin as a leading indicator. Right now, the only thing that I can say is as long as Bitcoin stays within this range, at least going sideways, or even still pumping to the upside, there are some altcoins that are going to outperform Bitcoin. And I know the Bitcoin maxis are now saying, look, Bitcoin is leading the way. Bitcoin is doing great. We're going to higher levels, and Bitcoin dominance is moving up. So Bitcoin is holding dominance over the general market. But the reality is, if you got into the right altcoins, they are outperforming Bitcoin, guys, a good majority of them. Okay, so let's take a look at one of them. BCB Blockchain Bets, guys. Now, you can see that the retracement is real. In comparison to Bitcoin, I get it. You know, Bitcoin has been running up. But look at this little pop that we got. Now, the last time I covered this, I did a deep dive. Let's take a look at when. I'm just trying to recall. 10 days ago, I did a deep dive on blockchain bets. If you are interested in this project and you want to know a little bit more about blockchain bets, guys, I suggest that you begin with your research right at this level. Get into this video, go check it out, scroll around. I think that there's some great information there to get you in tune with its fundamentals. Fundamentally, it's decent, guys. It's definitely decent. So let's get back into the price action. The retracement was really good. You can see that it got to really strong levels of horizontal support. Momentum-wise, not so much. The MACD, trend-wise, you know, the strength of the trend definitely gave us a signal, but the momentum didn't. The RSI. And this is something that I have to be really clear about. Because as we get into a bullish stance, as we get into some really good bullish price action to the upside based on, you know, the bull run, you know, seeing full reset momentum is very unlikely. So we got to really take the RSI with a bit of, you know, a grain of salt, in the sense that I even plan on introducing the stochastic RSI, or just the stochastics, into the mix here, because the stochastics, they reset more often, in the sense that this would have shown as a full reset of the momentum on these stochastics, while the RSI didn't. Now, at least the RSI showed us that we got a support at the previous backtest, or the previous retracement on the RSI, and that we got a reaction there. But really, the entry on blockchain bets would have been based on the 4-hour, based on RSI. But even still, guys, on the daily, we got some good signals, market-wide signals. Number one, Bitcoin is still pumping. Ethereum is showing strength. We got support at the bottom of the volume gap, one green arrow. Okay, great. If you got into this green arrow and this green arrow, you are definitely in profits and in a net profitable scenario. And what I like the most about this zone right here, couple of reasons. In fact, bottom of the volume gap, 200 daily EMA ready there, acting as support, and it acted as some really good support here on this backtest, on this retracement. And then all of a sudden, if you look left, you got some really good tops here that are also acting as support. So you got a lot of confluence in this area. And even based on trend, look at the MACD. The MACD got its EMA crosses, green histogram bars to the upside, showing a lot of strength. And the market in general has a very similar pattern. All the MACD charts on many projects are looking pretty much bullish and looking to get into the bullish control zone, which would be on the top half of this MACD. So really what we have here is a setup where if you DCA'd or even bought the bottom right here at this level, like I suggested in the deep dive, guys, you're in some decent profits. What kind of profits are we into? Let's say right here at the bottom of the volume gap to where we are now, you're up 53%. That is a decent move to the upside. Now it's time to get defensive. Now, I am not saying to take profits, because it could be that we break out here and go to slightly higher levels, and we can use Fibonacci retracements to kind of give us an idea. But you can see that the momentum, if the momentum gets even slightly overbought, it's very likely that we get to about, I would say, 0.04, 4.5 cents more or less. That would be a decent zone to expect some reaction. And just eyeballing it, it does look like a golden pocket. So let's kind of confirm that. Let's get our Fibonacci, swing high to swing low. And more or less, yeah, more or less golden pocket. We're at about 0.047, which is about 4.7 cents, 4.8 cents, right around here. Okay, so it's not bad. At the end of the day, this golden pocket retracement to the upside does usually get a reaction. Now, with that being said, it doesn't mean that it has to stop, right? If we continue seeing bullishness in the market and we get into this pre-halving rally, the reality is we can see a nice altcoin season. And the altcoin season is likely to see a lot of altcoins run. Right now, this thing's up 15% for the day, which is very healthy. And it's potentially looking for continuation based on momentum. And nonetheless, look at the MACD. Again, EMA is facing up, green histogram bars. No sign of strength, of weakness at this current moment. So what I'm really expecting here is that this is going to hold up as support. Now, do we come down for a backtest, more of a backtest, another confirmation, you know, a bigger W type of thing? It's all possible. But in this current stance, guys, it looks like Blockchain Bets is looking to continue to the upside. At this level, given the fact that we flew right through the volume gap really with a lot of strength and now we're hesitating, putting yourself in a bit of profits with a triggered stop loss or a trailing stop loss, depending on if you're on leverage or spot, you can definitely protect some of the gains as well as your initial investment. Now it's up 50 something percent. What about protecting 25% of your gains, so that at least if it does get that retracement, you can walk away saying, I'm profitable. And in addition to that, you can take 10% off the top right here, because at the top of the volume gap, it's pretty possible, it's fairly possible that we get a reaction, a rejection, and we could potentially go sideways. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is ultimately there's a bit of resistance here. There's a bit of an incentive to see this price retrace. Let's get into the 4 hour to see if there's any signs of weakness at lower time frames, because ultimately if it does get that retracement, it's based on the 4 hour time frame. Now what I can see is bearish divergence. Now again, it is at a horizontal resistance at the top of the volume gap. We see the higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the RSI. We see the MACD. Let's see what's going on here with the MACD. Still looking bullish. EMA cross to the upside. Green histogram bars doing really good, and it's in the bullish control zone. So what I'm trying to say here is that it could come down. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? If it does come back down to the range lows, maybe come down just a little bit, just enough to give us a bit of a shoulder. That's all very possible. And then continuation to the upside and start breaking resistance, which could be considered a neckline, shoulder, head, potential shoulder, and then come to the neckline, start breaking and look for higher highs. All very possible. The thing is that currently, at least you're profitable. You're up 50 something percent from this entry. And at this point, you're potentially breaking even on this entry, but DCAing at this point got you into a profitable zone. So in my opinion, obviously not financial advice, guys, I'm expecting this to get more momentum to the upside as we are breaking above the 4 hour EMA right here. And it could potentially use it as support as well, and continue to the upside as we are producing a potential bull flag after an impulsive move on the 4 hour, consolidation and continuation. And you got to admit that the RSI is not completely overbought yet. Completely overbought means that we're going to get into a really volatile state where we see the price rocket to the upside. Okay, so back to the daily, big picture, the 4 hour might be showing a bit of weakness, but the daily showing no weakness whatsoever. So if we happen to get an opportunity to get into an entry based on the 4 hour, be prepared with some cash on the side, with some dry powder ready to go. But ultimately your positions, if you have a position, it's time to get defensive on these gains, because really we could continue going higher, but a retracement will basically knock off a little bit of those profits. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, you know what you got to do. You got to slap the like button. It does really help out with that algorithm. If you want to join me live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, it's a great time and place to make requests on any projects that you're interested in, and I'll put them in top priority. Guys, join the Discord. The Discord was where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the div.